Welcome to IMWEX TV. Today we're looking at the best mods for your Porsche for under 1k. Alright then, times are tough out there, we're all being squeezed, but we all still want to put our money into fun stuff like the cars behind me. For all the specific products I mentioned in this video, I'll put links in the description below. However, first of all, we're going to duck inside to tell you about a cheeky deal that you can take advantage of. It's worth pointing out, I'm looking all around the industry for these top parts for up to £1,000 for today's video. However, if you're shopping online at Heritage Parts Centre, which is where I am at currently, you can get 10% off your basket by popping 9works10 in at the checkout. Let's dive into the first upgrade you can do, and it doesn't cost you a penny, okay? It's all about weight saving. If you can't add power to the car, well, take away weight and that will obviously up your power to weight game. The possibilities here are endless. You can start, by the way, with all Porsches by taking out sound deadening. The cars are absolutely stuffed with them. You'll be surprised how much of that comes out. And really, where you go from there is entirely up to you and your own levels of restraint. As I said, you can go from basics like sound deadening all the way to bare metal interiors, drilled door handles. Honestly, you can go as far as you like. It increases your power to weight ratio. It makes your car lighter, which really makes it more responsive. What is not to like? The best part is it won't cost you a penny.
Let's head inside and continue our list of top mods for under £1,000.
In terms of value for money, I'm not really sure how this can be beaten unless you're getting a freebie, okay? Now, it all comes down to the look and stance and aggression. There's a lot of factory Porsches whereby the stance can be improved. The wheels are tucked right into the arch, and the fix for that is simple, straightforward, and in the realms of Porsche particularly, the outlay, it's relative pennies, okay? This is, of course, spacers. I've got a hub-centric spacer here. This one's for a 997, it's 25mm. You can get an array of different sizes from literally a couple of mil all the way up to, well, way past 25mm. It does wonders for improving the stance of your car, just gives your Porsche an extra layer of aggression. Pulling the wheels out of the arch just ever so slightly, it's only a subtle improvement, just really refines that look, the aesthetic appeal of the car. As I said, within the realms of Porsche and upgrades, it's relative pennies, but it makes a real big tangible difference. Nice and simple to do. Whip the wheel off, stick the spacer on. You will need bolts, and pleasingly this set here comes with bolts. Torque it all up, put the wheels back on, and hey presto. Just like that, you've got a completely different look with a lot more aggression dialed into your 911. Now, when it comes to handling, you can't really beat a set of coilovers, okay? The trouble with coilovers is they cost thousands for a decent set. However, a decent alternative, bearing in mind our £1,000 budget, is a set of lowering springs, just like what we've got here from IBAC, supplied by the guys at Heritage Parts. Now, the advantages of lowering springs are twofold. Number one, it's going to improve the look of your car. A lot of factory Porsches, high up in the sky. I'm thinking 964 owners, 993 owners, even 996 owners. Definitely those cars from stock ride height could really do with a little bit of ride height lowering. Just adds a decent level of aggression in terms of how the car looks, that stance that I mentioned with the spacers. Now, of course, lowering springs, they don't just improve how the car looks. It's not just the aesthetics, there's a performance advantage to these as well. The advantage with aftermarket springs are the springs are usually slightly stiffer than stock. It just gives a little bit more poise and composure to your car, which really is what the sports car experience is all about. You may forego a tiny bit of comfort, but I think overall the advantages in terms of shoring up the handling and giving you more poise is absolutely worth it, okay? So, as I said, while coilovers would probably be my go-to, they do cost a shed load of money. A fantastic alternative, bearing in mind our £1,000 budget here, is a set of lowering springs. The next modification for under £1,000 is it's definitely my favourite actually. It's the Gundo hack. Now, the Gundo hack unleashes, and I really mean unleashes, that quintessential Porsche sound emanating from your exhaust. It's obviously therefore an exhaust modification, okay? I've covered this extensively in a previous video on this channel because I've had the Gundo hack done to Little Irish, okay? So I'll pop a link here so you can see it. But as I said, it's an exhaust modification. It costs a couple of £100. It involves welding an extra piece of tubing onto your factory silencers. How I came to the conclusion that I wanted it done to my car is because I assembled 9 different Porsche 996s, all with different exhaust setups, all with different price ranges as well attached to them, next to each other, and we did a sound off. Again, I did that on a video. I'll pop that here so you can see it. And I decided that day that I was going to get my car Gundo hat because bang for your buck, it's absolutely unbeatable. The problem with the Gundo hack is you're going to be welding up likely old used bat boxes. Now they may have been, like on my car, already under your car for some amount of time. That means there's already a degree of perishing going on. They're going to need to be replaced one day. So really, if you are doing a Gundo hack to your old back boxes, in terms of eventual replacement, you're not solving a problem, you're just kicking it down the road, okay? And so when you do get to within the realms of having to replace your exhaust, you're gonna need to do this. This one here is obviously not a 911 exhaust, as you can tell by the shape and length of it. It's for a 944. The guys here at Heritage stock plenty of parts now for 944s and the rest of the transaxle Porsches. But the point here is not exactly the exhaust itself, but the material of which it's made. This is a stainless steel exhaust. And again, if you're a little bit cost conscious, longevity is going to be key. Not just for you and in terms of like getting through that annual MOT every year, also when you come to sell the car, if the car's in better condition, well, you're gonna get more money for it. So longevity in mind, it goes without saying, stainless steel lasts longer. It's a fact. There are plenty of advantages to aftermarket exhausts like this one, which is made by Dansk. You're gonna be getting a new product, it's gonna sound better, you're more than likely gonna save weight, and if you do unlock a couple of extra horsepower, well, it's a nice bonus. It can definitely be done for under £1,000, and stainless is giving you good bang for the buck for the long run as well. Now really what you're looking at here for modifications up to £1,000 is bang for your buck. And to my mind, one of the very best elements you can tackle here when it comes to bang for your buck is how the car feels. I'm talking about touch points, the steering wheel of which is probably chief among them. Now I've banged on about steering wheels previously in my parts videos, and as I said, it's when you sit in the car, the next thing you're going to be doing is holding the steering wheel for what should be 100% of the time while you drive. And that steering wheel, therefore, can have a tangible difference as to how the car feels to you, the driver. And there is a plethora of ways you can go here. You'll know with Little Irish, I've got the Momo Mod 7. I really rate that wheel. I love the dish and how that feels in the hand, slightly thinner rim. You can also go down the tried and tested and legendary Prototipo, all of which is sold here at Heritage Parts, by the way. I've pulled up some of the earlier steering wheels by SSP, which are stocked here at Heritage, as an alternative for you guys owning the more classic stuff. This is a really faithful recreation of the original 4-spoke wheel found on the early long bonnet cars, okay? You've got the black leather wrapped wheel here, 395mm. Heritage also stock the mahogany style. As you can see up here, loads of different ways you can go. Really comes down to your taste. Don't forget, with these aftermarket wheels, you're going to have to buy the Boss as well. Good news is here at Heritage, these wheels come with the Boss supplied. Fantastic value, all in for only a couple of £100. As an extension of that, short shifters. A short shift, again, is a key touch point for you manual owners. Every time you get in the car and you go for a drive, how many times are you changing gear? A short shift just reduces, probably by around 30% the throw. It just turns up the intensity of the drive, which obviously turns up the engagement. Again, for a few £100, it's such a worthwhile upgrade, and I think represents fantastic value for money, particularly when you think of how many times you're going to be changing gears over the life of your ownership with that vehicle. So touch points is key, and on that note, I want to look at something else. You'll notice this lovely wooden number installed on Little Irish. Again, I've covered this in a previous video. Now, I wanted a wooden shifter in my Porsche because I was inspired by the Balsa shifter in the Le Mans 1970 winning Porsche 917, piloted of course by Richard Atwood and Hans Hermann. That had a Balsa wooden shifter. Porsche's history with Balsa shifters is rich if you consider the 917, but also the Carrera GT latterly as well. And I kind of wanted my own homage as part of that action. There are a number of routes you can go down here. This particular shifter is courtesy of built by Basil. I've had it for a couple of years now. It's worn exceptionally nicely. The shifter itself is about 100 quid, I think. You then need to buy the shaft as well that will help connect the wooden shifter to your car. Again, there's a variety of options that you can go down. It's basically a subtle nod to a piece of Porsche heritage. All right, this is a 996, but you can apply this to anything, literally from the earliest Porsches right the way up to the latest ones. You can get this installed, and as I said, it's a really nice, quirky way to lift your interior and is a nice talking point. Even better, you can fit it at home for nothing. I want to bring up the topic of braided brake lines. Now, there's a couple of reasons why I think these are amazing value and comfortably under £1,000, by the way. The first thing you might want to consider, the braided hose upgrade, is longevity. The braided or stainless steel, such as these here from BF Goodrich, which the guys stock at Heritage Parts for an array of classic Porsches, basically you're looking after the car in the long term. These bring longevity. However, arguably more exciting from a performance point of view, once you've installed these braided lines, as soon as you press that pedal, that brake pedal for the first time, you'll notice a tangible difference, okay, in pedal feel. It'll be more confidence inspiring, allows you to push that Porsche a little bit harder. It's exactly what these cars were built for, don't forget. Obviously, you're improving your braking efficiency for a start, but it'll eliminate any of that sponginess that you tend to get through the brake pedal otherwise. That just about wraps it up here for the best modifications or upgrades you can do with your Porsche with £1,000 maximum budget. As you can see, really, there's lots you can do. Although £1,000 within Porsche, you think, how much is that really going to get me? Well, I hope today has shown quite a lot. Plenty of options out there, plenty of vendors as well. Shop around. If you do end up here at Heritage Parts Centre and the Heritage Parts Centre website, don't forget to use the code 9works10. Pop that in at the checkout and you'll get up to 10% off. Thanks very much for watching this video from 9works TV, and we'll see you again soon.